What's going on, drivers? I hope all of you are safe and well out there on the road, dealing with the beginning of winter in a positive way. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. This is Trucking with Old Snapper, and I am Old Snapper. Anyway, we'll talk about this fuel shortage. I keep seeing videos. I know Asian Mai did one. I believe a few others have talked about it as well. Asian Mai being the one I generally watch, but they're talking about a fuel shortage. And I know there's a news station, if you look it up, there's a couple of different news stations that put out information about it. Tucker Carlson's made comments on it, and they're all saying there's a 25-day supply. We're supposed to be out of fuel by November. We're supposed to be out of fuel by Thanksgiving, I believe, from the time that this information was stated. But here's what's crazy. If we're going to be out of fuel by November, by Thanksgiving, wouldn't truck stops be putting up flyers? Wouldn't companies be talking about it? I mean, you would think it'd be a bigger deal, right? If there's going to be any kind of shortage of diesel in the United States, you would think it would be a big deal. Now, obviously you understand that I do not believe that this is the case. I think this is a scare tactic. We may be running low on supply. I do believe that. But I think that's all in a push to raise the prices of diesel in the United States. Back in the 70s, and y'all can look this stuff up, and here's what's crazy. A lot of the administration that's in charge right now was a part of this back in the 70s when this was stated, what I was about to tell you. But there was a big push from activists to get away from these what they call fossil fuels, right? And they realized at that time there was some politicians in Biden's era, this back when Biden was first coming into play in politics, that said it would be impossible to get away from fossil fuels and go to electric unless they could make the operation of electric vehicles cheaper than the operation of gas and diesel. Well, obviously they can't. They can't make the operation cheaper. So now that we have that administration in charge, what they're pushing is making diesel and gas operated vehicles more expensive to operate. Since they can't bring the price of electric vehicles down, we'll just raise these other prices up. They're going to make it just ridiculously expensive. Not only that, but it's a tax grab too, because the more it costs, the more money they make. And I'm sure that there's a lot of backroom deals between us and these different oil makers around the world. So there's a lot of politics involved in it all around. It's hard to say whether it's true or not, but I'd have to say that it's probably not true. I don't believe that it is a shortage to the limit that they're trying to say that it's short. Now, I do believe we have a dwindling supply. We still have a high demand. And I do believe it's going to run the price up. I think the diesel price, it's been kind of going up and down. I think it's going to go up. I think it's going to be quite a bit higher than what it is now. Which still for owner-operators isn't good, especially at a time when freight rates are falling. You got China shut their economy down. Every time they catch somebody over there with COVID, or shouldn't have said that word, but every time they catch somebody over there with that, they shut their economy completely down. They stop their whole country, which that slows imports. A lot of our goods here are imported from over there, and that also slows down, puts less freight. So that chain reaction of less freight causes the freight rates to drop. But that all comes out in the wash, because eventually China will open their economy back up, and then you'll have a flood of that stuff coming in, and then it goes back the other direction, which could help kickstart our, I call it a freight depression. I don't believe we're in a freight recession right now. I believe we are in a freight depression. But as far as a fuel shortage, I think it's a scare tactic. It's easier to control a population when you got them nervous, when you got them scared. And we can't trust our media anyway, because they're liable to tell us anything. So it's really, really hard to say. Not only that, but if we're going to run out of diesel here, I believe they'd be running out in other parts of the world before we ever ran out here. Like if they're telling us we got 25 days left, Europe would probably already be out of diesel. And that's just my opinion. I may be wrong. That's just my opinion on this subject. I'm not an expert in this, but that's just my opinion. Kind of wondering what y'all's thoughts are. Y'all think this is just a gimmick? It's just a game that they're trying to play to scare the population, scare truck drivers, drive the price of fuel up? How high do you think fuel's going to get? You know, what are your thoughts on this, driver? What do y'all foresee is the end goal of why some of these news stations are putting this information out? Now, I'm going to put some links down in the description below that talk about, you know, where I got this information, and some of these news stations that put out this shortage of fuel and saying that we're going to be out of fuel. I think it was November the 27th or 28th. They said we'd be completely out. I saw someone had made a comment on one of my other videos that came out and said that he was in Missouri and the TA out there, I think in Oak Grove, was out of diesel when he was there. Now, was that just a shipment issue? Maybe the shipment didn't make it. Maybe the shipment had an accident, or any number of things there. Or is that the beginnings of a nationwide fuel shortage? You know, it's really bad, but in today's day and time, we have to be real careful in what we say, because, you know, it can cause mass panic. I truly don't believe there's anything out there for drivers to panic over other than the price of fuel. Could it get up $7, $8 a gallon? Very possible. If they drive this scare as far as I think they're going to drive this scare, they very well could hit that. I think they're really trying to push it to right after midterms so that they can blame the Republicans. Because, you know, the House and all that's probably going to flip. There'll be a lot of Republicans elected. The things have been happening over the last couple of years. I believe the same thing with the recession. They're going to wait till after midterms, then they'll announce we're in a recession. You know, and then they'll blame the fact that we elected a bunch of Republicans whenever we've been in a recession since probably February or March of 2022. But anyway, I hope all of you out there are doing great, staying safe, staying out of trouble. Please leave a comment and let me know your thoughts on this situation. I appreciate all of y'all for stopping by and spending a few minutes with old Snapper. Y'all could be anywhere else in the world, and y'all chose to be here checking this out, and that means a whole lot to me. Y'all take care, stay safe. Remember, we are all family, even if we are a bit dysfunctional.